and welcome to Sierra Make. Today's video is going to be a little long, and that's because it is an extra special video, mostly in part because, one, it took me a really long time to make. I actually made these pants a while ago, but it took this long to put all the footage together and edit it. Two, it is cosplay, which is one of my favorite things. I think it is so cool to dress up as characters from a TV show or movie, and then to get to try and make something that was in a movie is just really, really fun. And three, it is my first project that I've made that was by request and not requested by my family. I had so much trouble sewing this. You'll see why. But before we go check it out, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Don't know what else to say, let's jump in. I started off this project with a fairly extensive internet search on the character that I would be making. As you might know, superheroes can have multiple types of costumes based off of whether they're in the comic book or they're in the movie or whatnot. But the specific character and version of Quicksilver that I'll be doing is Pietro Maximoff. Fair warning, I'm pretty sure I'm botching the name and will continue to do so throughout the video, but anyways, he is the one from the Marvel Avengers Age of Ultron movie. So I watched the movie to try and get some screenshots of his pants, and surprise, surprise, they only show his pants like twice in the entire movie, and it's like less than a second each. Basically, you just get the blur, which makes sense because, you know, he runs fast, but, you know, still, like, really no lower body shots of him just standing around. So, because I didn't have a whole lot of reference in terms of the movie, I will also be using some references from the action figure version of him, and I will also be taking some elements from other cosplay pants that are meant to look like his. So, because the person I'm making these for are far away, I can't just go measure them to get their pants size and stuff. We decided to just order a pair of pants on Amazon that they know would fit them, and then I would edit those pants. I would alter those pants to make them look like the cosplay Quicksilver pants. So here are the pants that I'll be using as the base for this costume. I put the little screenshot of the ones that I bought in the corner there. They are the Italy Morn men's chino joggers, sweatpants, casual pants, size small in black. And let's take a look at the pants, see what we're working with. Now, based off of the reference photos, his actual pants don't have drawstrings on them, but that's not a big deal, and we like drawstrings because they help make it fit properly. I like that there are side pockets, you know, so that you can hold stuff, and I also like that there's elastic on the ankles. Also, can I just say that when I got these pants, I didn't expect them to be such high quality. Like, the fabric was beautiful. I just want a pair just to have. But anyways, onto the back side of them. On the back, you can see they have two butt pockets, but one of them has a flap on it for style, I guess. That's not a big deal. I'm just going to tuck that into the pocket, and then it's like it's not even there. I'll also just take off that button. On the inside, those are some pretty big pockets that we have, and it looks like there is a tag on the butt of it, but all of that is easy fixes, so let's just do that really quick, and then we can actually get started making these pants. The color of fabrics that I need for these pants, besides the black, is a gray, a white, and a blue. I have a white cotton and a blue cotton, so that's not a huge deal, but I had a lot of trouble with the gray because I didn't have any gray cotton on me. And also, in the pictures, it kind of looked like the gray had a type of texture on it, almost like a net or something. So I whipped out all of the gray fabrics that I could, and I couldn't really find one that I liked that much. But then I pulled out of a Craigslist free pile a gray comforter, which just so happens to be a giant sheet of fabric that's kind of sewn together and meant to be on your bed, but you know what? I'm just going to use it as regular fabric, and this is the fabric that I'm going to use for the gray parts of the pants. This will keep the overall cost of the cosplay pants low because this was free fabric and I didn't have to go buy it from Joann's or something. I lucked out because the color of this gray looks pretty good next to the black of the pants. Alright, so now I need to make the pattern for the pieces that I'm going to sew on to these pants. I'm just going to put a quick pin where the top of the knee is, flip these sideways, and now I'm going to lay my paper down on top of this, underneath it, and I'm going to trace out where the pants roughly are, just get a border, and then using the picture as reference, I'm going to sketch out the area where my gray fabric will cover, and the pocket, and also that little arrow stripe that goes across the thigh. And then I'm going to cut this out and pin it to the pants to see how it looks, and add some extra paper where I need to. So on the back here, you see it seems like it's a little too short, and not quite in the right spot in terms of the butt area. So I'm just going to add a little paper on the bottom and the top, tape that on, and now we're going to do the stripe. So I'm just going to cut out a stripe and, tape it up and pin it and make sure that it really goes with the curve of the thigh. And I'm just going to write down a few notes on my pattern, like where I want it to be folded and what section is what, and we can get started with prepping the pieces. Note, I learned after I made these pants that I actually should have cut the fabric at a 45-degree angle so that it's on the bias, so that it curves and bends when you, bend it, so that you don't get these wrinkles that you're going to see when I sew this on. Sorry to the person I made this for. Sorry, I didn't know. I hope you still like them. Now it's time to prep the thigh strips, so I'm going to be using this heat transfer vinyl from Amazon in royal blue, and I'm going to turn on my silhouette machine. So this is actually the first time that I am using the vinyl cutter. Yes, I made these pants way before any of my vinyl cutting projects. Yeah, it's taken this long for me to make a video about it. But just keep that in mind as you watch the following footage of me using the vinyl cutter, and I will go into a bit of depth there. So I have placed that roll of royal blue vinyl on my machine and weaved it through. You can see that the white side is facing upward and the blue side is down, and that's because on the blue side is where the plastic is, and so yeah, it makes sense when I'm ironing it on. Now we're going to make the design on the computer. Instead of starting with an image and tracing that like the other projects I've done, I'm just going to draw what I want straight onto the computer. So if you look at all the different references I'm using, the other cosplay pants, the action figure, and the movie, the shape on this thigh strip is so different. So I'm just going to pick the one I like the best, which is that arrow shape. So right now I just grabbed the rectangle tool and I'm going to adjust that into the arrow shape that I want. And then I'm going to copy that and paste it and make it smaller so that it's the inner side so that we get the pattern that we want. I gotta adjust those points a little bit more, but now it's how I want it to look. So I'm going to select both the inner and outer arrows and group them and then copy and paste that again and again and again until I get a nice strip of arrows for the thigh. As I was working on this, I realized it kind of looks like a Mario Kart speed strip or whatever. Like when you're playing Mario Kart and you go over the strip of arrows just like that. It looks like that, so that's what we're going to call it, is just a speed strip. And if you can tell, I made each arrow progressively bigger and bigger because as it wraps around the thigh, it actually gets wider. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to take that whole thing and copy it because I need one speed strip for each side of the thigh. And now that I'm done with it, I'm just going to send it off to get cut with the silhouette machine with a depth of 3, a force of 10, and a speed of 5. Sounds like music. It totally sounds like an organ. So right here you can see I put the design a little too close to the edge and so it didn't cut that bit, but that's okay. I'm just gonna grab a little box cutter and slice that and it'll be perfectly fine and usable. So let's cut this out of the vinyl and prep it to iron on to our thigh strips. Alright, that's enough playing around. Now I'm just going to pin the gray fabric to my pants along with the white and blue trim on the legs. Oh my god, they're turning out so cool! I'm so excited! Alright, so I have two things of this net that I could put over the gray, but honestly, I feel like it adds a little bit too much texture to this pant, makes it less cohesive. It's also really, like, it's light and stuff, whereas this side, if you look at this side, it's all kind of has the same texture, so it actually looks like it belongs together. So I think I'm actually not going to use the net. I also don't know that I have enough net to cover all of the gray, and also that'd be so much work, and also that'd be like so much fabric to go through in these sections. So I'm just going to do the plain cotton fabric. It's finally time to sew these cosplay pants together. So I pulled out all of the blue threads that I had because the blue strips and the vinyl were kind of different shades. So I needed to find a blue thread that matched both of them or just looked good. So I went with this one. And then for the gray fabric, I went with this thread. I know it doesn't quite match, but it's close enough and hopefully it won't show. So now we can finally sew everything together. While sewing, I had to watch out for the pockets. So there's the back pockets and the front pockets, and I had to make sure that I wasn't accidentally sewing through the giant pockets that were there because they went as deep as like mid-thigh or lower, and the gray definitely passes through that bit, so I had to be careful every single time I sewed not to sew through the pocket, and whenever I came into contact with a pocket area, I had to stop and lift the foot of the sewing machine and move that pocket bit and make sure that it was out of the way, basically. And you'll also see that I sewed this so that you could use the back pockets, so I had to sew the gray to the inside of the pocket without sewing the pocket together. Anyways, it was difficult. I made this so unnecessarily difficult on myself. And when I was sewing the white trim, I had to make sure that my thread was going through both the trim and the gray fabric. I suppose I could have sewn on the trim first and then the gray fabric, but I wanted to be sure that it would be aligned, so I just sewed it together at the same time. Also, it was easier to just sew it together at the same time. Oh my gosh, I had so much trouble getting these pants in the sewing machine. There was just too much fabric there and not enough maneuverability to like sew where I needed to sew. I really should have just seam ripped the side of the leg, and then I would have had access to all of that, but you know, I didn't think about it, and you know, I've already started, so let's just keep going where we're going. Because there wasn't enough space for me to move the fabric, it kept bunching up because, you know, I'm trying to sew a tube on a flat surface. I ended up with some really, really wobbly lines. Some of the stitches look really, really bad. It's not a straight line. It's not clean. But from far away, hopefully you won't notice. And you know what? I did the best I could do. So anyways, let's just finish sewing on the gray. So even though in the pictures it uses a blue thread for this part, I feel like that might distract, and especially since my lines are always so wonky, I feel like a black thread would be better, even though it's like not as similar to the pictures. I feel like a black thread would not distract from this bit. For the sake of saving time, let's do a quick transition. There we go. Now I've sewn on the speed stripes on the thighs. Here's a little closer look at the stitch and the other side. Also, one thing I want to point out is I left a little space where the pocket is, so I didn't sew the stripe to the pocket. I left it open so that you could really like reach your hand in the pocket. And here are what the back pockets look like. But as you may remember in the picture, the back pocket is supposed to be black, so I'm just going to sew this black pocket onto the pants. Bruh, I made this so hard on myself. Like, why am I putting two pockets here? And, I mean, oh God, what was I thinking? So I just did a quick double stitch on the top of the pocket. Now it's pinned in place with the white trim. There we go, now that's on and they are usable. Time to sew on the other blue trim. This is going to be hard because it's in the pants leg, so let's get a drum roll, please. Boom, there it is. Let's get a full look of the pants, but they are missing one thing, a little tag with my name on it. An artist's always got to sign their work. So let's just sew that in place right next to the original pants tag, and final look. They are done. Look at that little tag I made right there. Boop, right next to the main one. Yep, so we got a working pocket like that. Nice and easy access, both sides. Got beautiful stripes down the sides right there. Our beautiful white and our finishing blue stripe. And then on the back side, we got the finishing stripe up at the top. This weird, I don't know why that belt loop's there, but anyways, the back of the pants. Whoop, and our pockets, which we've actually got two pockets on either side of the butt. The first one is the fake pocket, and then the second one is actually the real pocket, which goes way deeper into the pants. Yeah, so there's 6 pockets on these pair of pants. It's like cargo pants, except there's none on the sides. This project took me a really, really long time to do, but I absolutely love how it turned out. I mean, I kind of want to make a pair just for myself, not as cosplay. They just look really cool. Here is one last look at them before I send them off. I'm trying to hold them as far back as possible so you can see them. And now it's time to mail them. I want to give a huge shout out to RJ_Lobo on Instagram for letting me try my hands at making these cosplay pants. Feel free to go follow him on Instagram. I'll put the link in the description. And here is the pictures of him wearing the pants. I am psyched because these look so good. They look, I don't know, I feel like they look really good, like they are almost professional. Okay, maybe not professional, but I definitely want a pair of my own. Even though I had a lot of trouble along the way, I'm really glad that I put so many pockets in it because I feel like then you can actually hold your stuff if you're at a convention or something like that. And all of the elements really came together to look like some Quicksilver superhero Pietro Maximoff pants. And that is the end of this video, so be sure to hit that like button if you liked these Quicksilver pants. Share this video with any of your friends who like to cosplay, and subscribe because I post every Friday at 3. Thank you for watching! For those of you who are still here, I would like to get your opinion. Do you think I should, open up commissions to make things for people, like if someone wants me to make something, or you know, with the understanding that most of the things I do, it's like the first time I try it and I'm bound to make mistakes. I'm not a professional seamstress or artist or anything of the sort. But would you be interested in that, in commissioning me to make something for you? I might keep it specific things like, you know, stuffed animals or cosplay items. I also get nervous making things for other people, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. And subscribe. I like cosplay. I was super stressed doing it the whole time because I wanted it to be perfect. Ooh, yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't remember.